Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing an actual sit down video. I know it's been forever. I've done tons of vlogs lately, but we're back for an actual sit down video. If you haven't been watching the vlogs, I've decided that I am not going to do monthly TBRs anymore. I just don't really stick with them very well, and I what ends up happening is I read a lot of books that aren't on the TBR. And so it's just a mess. So, in order to avoid me constantly talking about the same books that I'm not reading, and also not ever talking about the books that I am reading and them not being on a TBR, I'm just going to do like a quarterly TBR. It's going to have like five-ish books on it that are just like my priorities for the next 3 months. And then whatever else I pick up is whatever else I pick up. This way I kind of get the best of both worlds where I'm still getting a little bit of a plan out, but it's not so much of a plan that I'm deviating from it all the time because my borrows from Libby come in all the time and none of those books are ever on my TBR. And I try to like go through and figure out like when I'm going to get those and if they're going to come in this month. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I forget and it's a mess. So I feel like this might be the best way to do it. So the books that I plan to read from now until the end of the year, I've got about five of them that are kind of like my priorities. The first priority that I am really working on is finishing The Blade Itself. This is The Last Argument of Kings, third book by Joe Abercrombie. And we're following the gang, and this is the conclusion for that first set of the trilogy. And so we're just following Logan and Glokta as we have been, but this is the one where everything kind of comes to a head. It's a lot of political intrigue where we figure out kind of like who all is moving all the pieces on the chessboard, and we had no idea who it is. This is a reread for me if you hadn't noticed and you didn't know from like previous videos. I have read this before. It's been a long time since I've read it. Maybe like 2022 at like the earliest I've read it. I don't remember anything about this book other than like the very ending. Like I only remember two things that happen, and two of those, no, three. I remember three things that happen, and those are different people. So I have no idea their endings or how we get there. Like I don't remember. So sorry, my nail. I did something to my nail, and it's like clipped. Um, my nails don't bother me until they're a little bit jagged, and then they bother me. But anyways, so it'll be really interesting to read it because I have no idea what's happening. So I'm excited to read it. I don't have like a definite plan of like when I'm going to start it. Kind of finishing some other things right now. So it might be November when I read it. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break so I can finish Words of Radiance, you know? I'm still on Words of Radiance. The second book that is a priority for me is Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. Yeah, Steven Erikson. This one, I do not have a clue about what's happening. I just know it is a massive world and it covers lots and lots of characters. Like, apparently, we follow a bunch of characters in this one, and then book two, we follow all different characters. Like, none of these are apparently in that one. So, I have no idea what's happening. Um, the back of it just says that the Empire is simmering with discontent and bled dry by warfare, and there's infighting and confrontations and stuff. So I think that it's going to be a lot of battles, probably some political intrigue, probably going to follow some warriors, and I am all about some warriors. This is a fantasy darling, and it's also in like it's a mountain. It is super intimidating for a lot of people, which is funny because it looks so tiny, but everyone talks about how intimidating this series is, and you've got to like pay attention. But for me, I don't really have to like pay attention, not because I catch everything, but just because like I just go with the flow. I'm like, okay, 200 pages in, I have no idea who you are, what you've done, but here we are. I'm just along for the ride. So I think that that's really going to come in handy when reading these because apparently there's a lot of pieces, and I would most definitely not keep up with all these pieces. I already don't keep up with all the pieces and everything else. So definitely not going to stress about it, and I'm just going to be along for the ride. The next book on my list is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. This will also be a reread for me. This one is following a little girl whose sister has cancer, and she is trying to become emancipated so that she no longer has to donate her organs to her sister. It is a very controversial topic. Jodi Picoult explores both sides of the story of when you're a parent and your firstborn has cancer and you have the option of having a second child who can help with keeping your first child alive, why wouldn't you take it? And what's that feel like to be that sibling who was born just to be extra parts? Like, how does that feel? And so Jodi Picoult does a really good job of exploring the entire dynamic. And this is a really good book. I've read it a couple of times, but I don't remember all the details of the story. I just remember really loving it. But I get in these phases where I'm in a really big Jodi Picoult mood, and so I will reread a lot of the books that I love by her. Earlier this year, I read Handle with Care. I've read Salem's something Salem. I don't remember. I'll try to remember put it on the screen. And I recently listened to The Pact. I feel like there was another one that I've recently listened to from her. I've read a lot of her books. They are so good. Oh, I'm currently reading By Any Other Name. I'm just not finished with it, but that one's by her too. So definitely in a Jodi Picoult mood, and this is when. So let me back up. I was in a Jodi Picoult mood months ago, and I borrowed a bunch of things on Libby, but then they weren't ready, and so now this one is ready, and so that's why it's now popping up. But yeah, I look forward to getting back into the story. It's Jodi Picoult is so good. She is fantastic. I love her characters. I love her storytelling, and I just love the fact that she doesn't shy away from exploring these harder topics. I love those harder topics. School shootings, absolutely. Um, Her other book was A Suicide Pact. What do you do when your girlfriend and you made a suicide pact, but she went through with it and you didn't, and now you're blamed for murder? That's a tough thing, and so she's really good for that. One of the other books that is high priority is The Women by, what is her name? Kristen Hanna. This one, I don't know a ton about it. I just know that it will break your heart, which is the whole reason why it's on this list. I really want to get into several of her books. The Nightingale is on my list. The Great Alone is on my list. I think I also have The Four Winds or something like that. So I definitely want to get some of her books. And now that volleyball is ending, now is kind of the time to really start delving into more of these priorities. I've been doing a lot of rereads and quick, easy romance novels lately or thrillers, real easy thrillers, because it's been volleyball season and it stresses me out. So I think we're going to be finished end of October sometime. And so that'd be a good time to start on some of these harder hitting reads, which is why Malazan is towards the end of the year too. But so The Women, all I know is that it's about these women who are in war in some way, probably nurses of some sort, and apparently they come home from the war and they're getting the same sort of welcoming that the men got, and as we all know, that was not a very welcoming welcome. So I think we're exploring the aftermath of all of those things and the effect that it has on someone when it seems like the entire country hates you when they sent you to war. So I could be very wrong, but that's just what I remember from the story. Okay, and then these last ones, I think there are four of them. Yeah, there are four of them. They are companion romance novels by Odette Stone. This is the Vancouver Hockey Romance Companions series, whatever. Basically, hockey season starts in October, and I want to read some hockey romances. So I have these on my list. I've already listened to Home Game, which is the second book in this series, and I freaking loved it. Absolutely loved it. And so I'm excited to get back to it. And I'm going to start with the first one, which is like Puck Me Softly or Puck Me Secretly or something. And I'm going to read those, and I'm going to do a whole vlog on those like separately by themselves. If you don't know, I love hockey. I don't know much about hockey at all. I do know they fight, and I do know that it's brutal, and it is so much fun. I love being in the arena. They are so mean to people when like they're like hazing or like what's the word, trolling the opposing team. They boo the officials. They chant at goalies when we score on them. Like, it is so much fun to be in a hockey arena. So I'm super excited for hockey season. It's getting ready to start in October, and so definitely wanting to celebrate the start of hockey season with some hockey romances. And I don't know what the other three books are about, but Home Game, we're following, I don't even remember their names, but we're following this girl and this dude, and she's down on her luck and homeless, and he kind of messes with her plans one night, and so she ends up not getting to the homeless shelter in time, and so she's out of luck. She's gonna sleep on the streets. And so he ends up letting her stay with him, and he like basically gives her a foundation in order for her to like get back on her feet. And so it's so good. I love their dynamic from start to finish. I cannot wait. I love Odette Stone. And I can't find these in any of my thrift stores. I've looked for years and can't ever find them. So I'm probably gonna have to buy them like on physical from Amazon or something. Because I can't find them in bookstores. I think they're pretty old. But anyways, I'm just rambling. Um, I think that's everything that I'm gonna prioritize. Coming into the end of 2025. What books are you reading? Are there books that you're like, I have to finish before the end of the year? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.